Hello everybody, what is going on? It's your boy Chris Avalon here, ready to bring you the latest rundown of all the celebrity news that's been going on. I know it's only Monday, but a lot of shit's been happening in the past couple of days, especially today. So I just want to get a couple of things because you know I do a radio show, or in case you don't know, I do a radio show called The Chris Avalon Show. It comes on every Saturday from 2 to 4 on alldigitalradio.com, and sometimes so much stuff happens that I was like, let me just start doing little videos throughout the week in case, because you know, with a 2-hour radio show plus music and commercials, can't get everything in. So I just want to get everything out that I need to get before Saturday comes, because you know you got to get ahead of the rest of these bitches out here doing vlogs and blogs and so a lot of social media stuff. So the first story I want to get to, because it's a rundown of a lot of topics, is Curtis Jackson, aka 50 Cent, and Floyd Mayweather are beefing again. These two have been going back and forth. I don't know why these two don't just get a double-sided dildo, fuck each other ass and get it over with. But yeah, they're beefing. I don't know what the fuck for, but all of a sudden, Floyd came and went and wrote a book on Instagram. Well, okay, somebody in Floyd's camp, because we all know allegedly he's illiterate, he can't read and this, that, and the third. So he had somebody within his camp write a whole book, and I guess in that term, read Curtis from cover to cover. So bear with me because it's a lot. So I'm gonna read you what he wrote in case y'all been living under a rock or you've been busy and you haven't heard what he said. So Floyd's ghostwriter writes, Curtis confidential informant Jackson, you're mad because your oldest son, Marquise, mother, doesn't want to be with you. Your son, your own flesh and blood, don't want nothing to do with you. You haven't had a hit song on radio. On radio, what are you, Canadian? And who knows when. And you're definitely not hot enough to even sell records anymore, so Interscope dropped you. You are jealous of any rapper, athlete, or entertainer that's that's hot or got something going on for themselves. You are a certified snitch, and we got paperwork to prove it. You talk about Ja Rule, but you stole his whole style and ran with it. You're the only self-proclaimed gangster that's never put in work. You need to pay homage to the real 50 Cent for stealing his name and his storyline. Your claim to fame was getting shot numerous times and living to tell it, and you think that's gangster? Where at? You're currently living in a fucking apartment in Jersey. Well, I ain't know about all that, but okay. I'll take your word for it. You're always in somebody else's business, that's true, just to stay relevant. You should have just become a blogger because it's obvious you don't have nothing going on in your life. Excuse you, don't become a us bloggers, but I get the shade of where you're trying to go. Are you mad that Kanye West ended your career? The only thing you got going on is Power, and everybody watches that because Ghost is a dope-ass character on the show. Well, quite frankly, I don't watch Power. I could never, like I've already said in the previous episode or on one of the shows I did, not a fan of Power, never really gotten into it. I feel it's overrated. Everybody talks about it. I try watching it. It's just not my cup of tea. I do like shows with a gangster theme, just ain't one of them. I'd rather watch Sons of Anarchy. Again. That's not a mansion in Connecticut that you're in debt for. That's a dump, a money pit, an oversized trap house. It was dope when Mike Tyson had it in the late 80s, early 90s, but you couldn't afford to maintain it. You're always talking about somebody is broke, but the last time I checked, it was Curtis Jackson that filed for bankruptcy, not Floyd Mayweather. So quick to gossip like a bitch. Why don't you tell everybody how you got herpes from DJ? Who the hell's that? Put me on. Where's your memes for that, huh? Or better yet, post about how your Coca-Cola deal wasn't really $300 million, you fucking liar, and tell how that spinning G-Unit necklace that somebody got robbed for was fake. Just remember, I was with you every day, and your driver Bruce was my driver also. I know where all your bones are buried, so be easy, Curtis Jackson. And by the way, don't ask to borrow no more money from me. Well, Curtis is sitting there talking about when he was on The View the other day, you know, backtracking off of that shade he tried to throw at Terry Crews when he basically tried to emasculate him on social media for coming out against the abuse he endured about Adam Bennett. He basically said that he's no longer in debt and he's got money coming in. I'm sure it's not a lot, but I guess with him being a producer on Power has given him a little coin in his pocket. So, of course, I should say that he has come out and spoken about it. 50 went in he's responded on social media about the whole thing and has basically said that he's gonna take his time with the whole, I'm elaborating. But he said he's going to take his time with the whole situation that's going on with Floyd, and basically talking about how he's got a bunch of domestic violence charges against him, and like in the double digits. And he said that he's going to bring all that up. So these two are just going to keep going back and forth. I don't know why they don't just fucking get it over with. Or maybe that's what it is. These are just two women scorned, and they're just, you know, don't know how to deal with the bullshit that they're dealing with in their own relationship. Speaking of drama and all the other stuff that entails, R. Kelly has released it. This is one reason why I want to jump online real quick. R. Kelly's come out and released a song called I Admit, which I was like, did he admit that he had sex with a couple of fags? I could have sworn I heard that in the lyrics. But he's come out and said basically in so many words, I'll give you all the highlights if y'all don't want to sit and listen to the 19-minute version of Trapped in the Closet. Speaking of being trapped in the closet, if he was talking about like getting with a couple of fags, he admitted that he said he's 20 million in debt, that he's broke, that he is illiterate, that it's just a whole lot of stuff, that he had love, that he was in love with Aaliyah. First of all, we seen the marriage certificate. We knew you was in love with Aaliyah. So all the shit he's revealing was stuff that we've already known, be it Wendy Williams revealing it on her show, or stuff that we've accumulated from R. Kelly over the years. So I don't understand why all of a sudden you trying to reveal some shit we already knew. I just need you to start revealing some stuff that we've known and suspected, but you won't admit to. Like the fact that how you got a trap house full of young girls and the sex trade and all that other shit that you're into. Like, start talking about that. Start revealing that. Like, don't give us shit we've already known. But do I feel sorry for him? No, I don't. Because R. Kelly is, you know, regardless of what is happening in your life, like him even revealing that he was sexually molested and all that other stuff, people who are abused, I understand, like, when, you know, especially in the black community, we don't deal with a lot of things like sexual abuse or any kind of abuse from anybody in our life, be it a close family friend, a family member, our parents, whoever. We don't talk about mental illness. We don't talk about sexual abuse. We don't talk about a lot of those things. So we self-medicate. We deal with a lot of things in a lot of ways. And I understand, like, you know what? He dropped out of school. He doesn't have the best education. But he is someone who I would consider a musical genius. The man has come out with a lot of good hits. He has done a lot for R&B, and he has contributed a lot to the music industry. But that does not excuse the things that you do in your private life in regards of sexual abuse of other people or whatever the case is. So, do I feel sorry for R. Kelly? No, I don't. Because when you bestowed abuse on other people, I can't feel sympathy for you about that. So if y'all want to listen to the song, I admit it's all over social media. Take the time to listen to it. The song is all right. I mean, it's not going to break the bank. I mean, I don't think it's going to put money in his pocket. And he also admitted a lot of things, like he hasn't spoken to his kids in years, which we've already known because his ex-wife, Andrea Kelly, has told us this. So you were admitting a lot of things, but it was stuff we've already known. Like, you didn't really give us no real tea. Like, yes, you may have spilled the whole picture, you know, in them 19 minutes, but it wasn't something I ain't never had a sip of before. So now, moving on from that, let's talk about Faith Evans. So Faith Evans, you already heard that she wound up marrying Stevie J from Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. It's kind of obvious that they're trying to vie for a reality show. They're probably going to get one out of this. I don't even see these two as being interesting enough to carry a reality show with each other. I had a lot of respect for Faith growing up, you know, listening to R&B and her being a part of the Bad Boy family and being married to Biggie. But, oh, speaking of that, that's where this plot thickens, speaking about the marriages, because that's where it all ties in. So apparently TMZ got a hold of the marriage license, and it only acknowledges two of her marriages, one being to Stephen Jordan, who she's married to now, and Tom Rousseau, who was the husband after Biggie. It doesn't mention the Biggie marriage because apparently, according to the courts, she and Christopher Wallace never tied the knot. So she's basically blaming this all on the courts made an error, and I don't know how she's planning on fixing this, but if you pretty much said that you've only been married twice when you've been married 3 times, it kind of makes us wonder how valid is this marriage, and were you two ever married to begin with? So it'll be interesting to see how all that works out. But either or, I just think this whole thing is messy. I don't understand why she got married. And I heard about Carly Red and the $150,000 engagement ring and all other stuff. But that, to me, I feel like that's another stunt. She another damn stunt queen. All y'all in Atlanta, do y'all ever do stuff besides pulling stunts? Y'all do a lot of that down there. Pulling stunts and shows for some attention. Because, you know, wasn't nobody paying attention to Carly Red, but she was on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. First, like I even said before, there was nobody popping off on that damn show anyway. Except Spice, Tommy with her drunkenness, and damn, I forgot the other girl name. The one with the multicolored hair, the big girl, the one that was a virgin. Like, I like her too. Other than that, everybody was just trying to jump on to whoever's storyline just to remain some sort of relevant. I told you I don't believe the whole storyline with Rashida and her corny ass husband Kurt and the baby. I don't believe none of that shit. I think y'all all playing around with marriages and kids and shit because y'all want to remain, like, you need money to pay for that boutique that you got in Atlanta. Like, I don't buy none of that bullshit that you're selling. But okay, if you want us to go along with it, we'll go along with it. Mona, it's time for you to start cleaning house over in Atlanta and getting some fresh blood up on there. Not people who have nothing to lose, but at least got some interesting going on. Like, it's just whack to me. But anyway, so the word on the street is Stormy Daniels is about to become divorced for the second time because her husband, Michael Avenatti, has filed for divorce today, saying my client, well, his attorney is Daniel's attorney, Michael Avenatti. That's who he is. My bad. I was reading it wrong. Her husband, his name is Glendon Crane. He is a former porn honcho. They got married in 2015. But the two have really been seen together in public since the whole situation came out with Donald Trump and that whole situation about her sleeping with him and this, that, and the other. So I guess with that happening, they've become estranged. So her attorney, Michael Avenatti, made the announcement basically saying, my client Stormy Daniels and her husband Glenn have decided to end their marriage. Stormy's daughter remains her number one priority. So, also, they're saying that her husband has filed a restraining order against her. So I really need to know what is going on between them. Why are you filing a restraining order? Are you basically saying that Stormy may be abusive towards you in a physical manner and you're looking to, you know, come back at her in some sort of way? I don't know. So the story is developing. I will keep you guys abreast of it as it develops. But yeah. Stormy's getting a divorce. But you know what? Look, her career is popping right now. She is benefiting from all of this Donald Trump shit. She's running around the world, like, not around the world, around the United States, dancing and giving lap dances and being the stripper in clubs and stuff. Look, whatever's going, work ain't honest, but it pays the bills. I don't get, as Erykah Badu once said, if it pays the bills and if you getting that coin, you do what you got to do to take care of yourself and your child. This is not the time where people need to be judgmental and coming at people who work in the sex industry. If you like it, I love it. If you have the will to sit there and do what you want to do in life, be it sex work, whatever the case is, if it pays your bills, who gives a fuck what anybody else has to say? I love strippers. I love hookers. I like anybody that is all about free love, free expression, being sex positive, whatever will float your boat. As long as it's legal, it's fine with me. I can't wait till they legalize weed in New York. I already said numerous times, I'm gonna get a job as a bud tender. Like, I can sell you all kinds of the kush, the blunts, the weeds, all of that stuff. Like, I'm willing, like, but anything to do with weed, I live for. So they need to hurry and make that shit legal in New York, like they have over in California, and not just for medicinal purposes. Because living in New York is stressful. And I can't tell you how many people smoke the good shit, so. Okay, so now, word on the street is Lady Gaga has been in New York recording the follow-up to her album, Joanne, and basically recorded her album in a $23 million townhouse. Now, for someone who has so much money, like, I don't understand, why would you, like, especially with the way the real estate is in New York, ridiculously expensive, why would you waste that kind of money on a $23 million townhouse when the smart thing, like, if I was a musician of Lady Gaga's caliber, I wouldn't even spend money renting out a place to record it. I would build a studio in my house, have the writer, any of the writers that I'm collaborating with and producers come stay with me at my house and record, because studio time is fucking expensive, especially in New York. Like $23 million on the thing. So much money could be used in other areas, but whatever. So, according to Architectural Digest, they're saying this summer, the music artist chose to return to New York's West Village, where for a few weeks she inhabited a $23 billion townhouse that has been on both the sale and rental market since 2016 from the Lux base. She recorded a new album and also celebrated the New York City Pride March. She has since returned to the West Coast. So, I think it's great that she's back in the studio recording. All I hope and pray is that this album is way better than Joanne. I hated that album. Out of all of her albums, I could not stand that one. Like, her trying to go the whole country, like, what are you doing? Like, we get it. You can sing. Like, nobody's ever doubted your talent in the vocal aspect, but your bread and butter is pop, and that's what you need to stick with, because that's where you thrive the most. I like the fact you want to experiment and try different things, but not a whole album of it. Like, if you was trying to do, what was it, like what Madonna did with folk music on the music album and a little bit of American Life, wasn't working. At least Madonna, like, even though that wasn't like her best work, at least she found a niche that would work for her. So it's like, even when her doing the guitar stuff of the folk music and she at least mixed in electronic and pop and all the other things that work with that. You doing a straightforward wannabe country album and rock wasn't you, boo. I mean, it may have worked in the stadium setting because the stadiums call for that, but like listening to it, it just was not my my favorite album from Gaga, and I'm expecting better, especially since she's got A Star Is Born coming out, which I actually want to see. It looks pretty interesting. I definitely want to check that movie out. So. The rumors are true, if you would probably have heard. Lindsay Lohan is vying to come back to television, but in the form of a reality show. So, according to Page Six, Buena Murray Productions, who has been behind shows such as Keeping Up with the Kardashians and The Challenge on MTV, the latter, which I absolutely love that show. I love The Challenge. I haven't watched The Real World in a gazillion years, but I love The Challenge. They also produced Dina and Ali Lohan's reality show. Living Lohan is going to be behind the show. The show is actually going to be on MTV, and what it is, it's going to be a show that's going to be like Vanderpump Rules, but they're saying that it's going to be better. So, sources are, well, it's going to be, in their words, a cooler, hipper, edgier Vanderpump Rules. Presumably with Lohan and at the center of it all. So basically what Lindsay Lohan's role, she's going to pretty much be the Lisa Vanderpump of her reality show. And then she's going to be surrounded by these hot messes of bartenders and servers and hostesses and whatever and whatnot. So, I tried to get into Vanderpump Rules. That show seems so scripted and fake to me. Like, it really seems like they tried too hard on that show. I can't get into it. I tried getting into it, but it's like I'm like, this is full-on white people bullshit. Like, y'all just trying so hard to be ratchet and don't know how to do it. Y'all trying to be sophisticated ratchet. And there's no such thing as sophisticated ratchet. You either are and you aren't ratchet. This is what it is. So, the sources are saying the show will introduce Lohan and the central characters while the Mykonos scene is in full swing. And then after the summer, we'll shift to follow Lohan and her crew going about launching a new location of the beach club. Reports have said Lohan is opening another location in Rhodes, Greece soon. So the show is basically going to be in Greece. It's not even going to be in the United States. So it should be interesting to see how that all works out. And Mykonos is definitely popping in regards to the club scene. I'd love to see a gay version of that show because, we gays definitely get it popping. And we definitely know how to give y'all some, good TV. But then they just be casting the wrong folk. Like, one of the shows I thought would have been a great concept, but it just wasn't, was the show that E did where, where was it? It was at The Abbey. When they did that show, the show was horrible. It was like, the only interesting the gay person I was aware of that was on there that brought the most drama was Murray Swanby, who's now with Nick, who is a dancer from one of the trophy boys from Andrew Christian. So they're dating now. Yeah, so when the show comes on, if it's interesting and there's a lot of drama, if it's juicy enough, I'll definitely check it out. I like Lindsay. But I'm sure, like, if Lindsay's gonna be the Lisa Vanderpump of the show, like, she's not gonna be up here carrying and acting a damn fool. Okay, so there's a new talk show on the horizon. Like, we already know, like, I don't know what happened to Tamar Braxton's talk show. I guess that's a wrap that she's supposed to be doing. Vivica Fox already knows she has a show coming out called Face the Truth, which doesn't sound that interesting. There's a bunch of talk shows coming out. Like, I just heard this morning that Sarah Haynes is doing the 3rd hour of Good Morning America with Michael Strahan. They're going to fill in the slot that's been now vacated by the Chew, and they're going to put that 3rd hour in there, which I think is a terrible idea. First of all, I think they should have never canceled the Chew. I think they should have just left the Chew on, but just brought in new blood. Like, you could have kept the 3 people that they had there. Daphne Oz left because I guess she didn't want to be associated with the Chew anymore, especially after the Mario Batali scandal. The other 3 should have stayed. Then you could have brought in new people. You could have brought in a revolving door. You could have Bobby Flay come in, Giada De Laurentiis. You could have had Gordon Ramsay, even though he has like 7 damn reality shows on TV as it is. You could have had him come in and kind of chime in and talk. Like, there's so many people in the food, in the culinary world, in the food business that you could have brought in and really sat and brought the tea to the show, as well as made the tea and cooked the food. So I don't understand why they didn't just keep the show going, but I don't know. It's just stupid on ABC's part. And for you to think that we care enough to watch another hour of Good Morning America in the afternoon, like, hello, how do you do Good Morning America in the afternoon? Makes no sense. But I digress. So apparently that's coming. I believe I heard Sarah Haynes is leaving The View. So we're down Paula Faris and Sarah Haynes. So now they got to find someone to fill in her spot. Don't know who they're going to pick. I'm kind of sick and tired of The View switching co-hosts at this point. I do like the show. It's been around since I've been a kid. But I'm really getting sick and tired of The View constantly with this revolving door of hosts. You get used to people, you like people, then you switch them out for somebody 10 times worse. Like, we got to go another year with fucking Nutmeg McCain. But whatever. So there's that. I don't know who they're going to fill in with her spot. But there's another talk show, since we're speaking of panel shows, that's going to be in the vein of The View, The Real, and The Talk, but instead, who's going to be on the show? And this is according to BET. Phaedra Parks is going to be on this show from The Real Housewives of Atlanta, Natalie Nunn from Bad Girls Club, Traci Braxton from The Braxton Family Values, and stand-up comedian Luenell. So this sounds like a pretty good concept. Like, while Phaedra is shady as fucking way she was on The Real Housewives of Atlanta, she does give good talk. So it'll be interesting to see how she works on the talk show. I love Luenell. Luenell is funny as hell, but she's reminding me a bit. She's like an edgier Lonnie Love and a funnier Lonnie Love. Like, I don't want Lonnie Love to be funny, but I love Luenell. It'll be interesting to see how this whole dynamic works. Traci Braxton. This show just reeks of The Real. Like, it feels like it, because Luenell is kind of like the Lonnie Love character. You have Traci Braxton, who reminds you of Tamar, because they're related. So it'll be interesting to see how this all works. I don't know what the name of the show is going to be. They use the caption "New Show Alert." It'll be interesting to see where it ends up. Like, we got so many talk shows coming out. I don't know if the whole panel thing is even exciting anymore. Can we also get like a gay version of The View? Like, we need some gay men on TV that can, like, a panel show, kind of in the vein of like Queer Eye meets The View or something like that. Like, it'd be interesting to see something like that on TV. But yeah, I'll definitely check the show out based off of some of the people. I don't know who Natalie Nunn is because I've never watched the Bad Girls Club, but I do know of Phaedra. I know of Traci because I watched Braxton Family Values, and I know of Luenell because I love her stand-up. So I'll definitely check it out. Also, Issa Rae is basically talking about Insecure Season 3 and is saying that when the show comes back, Jay Ellis, who plays Lawrence, will not be a part of the cast. She says that we want to stay as true to life as possible, which I actually like. If a character no longer serves the purpose of the storylines or the topics and stuff, you want to be as realistic. You don't want to see characters leave, but if you served your purpose and you served up enough, it is what it is. It's unfortunate. I liked Jay Ellis. I think he's a great actor. I liked him from The Game. But if he doesn't, if he no longer fits the narrative, then it's time to move on. I think it is great that Issa's character, who plays, her name is Issa on the show as well, that she explores different avenues and dates different guys. And I don't know what's going to happen with the guy that she was moved in with from the last season. We'll find out next month when the show comes back on HBO. But yeah, good on her for that. Also, I'm going to talk a little bit about the whole Charlamagne thing. Someone who I'm well versed with that works in the entertainment industry, I won't say who, sent me a post about Charlamagne on his page. Like, not even on his page, on his web show. Like, he does another show outside the Breakfast Club. Forget the white guy's name, but he has a podcast that he does. And on it, he talked a lot about the incident that happened with, you know, the accusations of rape that he paid the price for, and was cracking jokes about the Spanish Fly, and he fucked the girl, and then his boys wanted to get in on it, and she asked what had happened, and he told her what happened, and just... While I'm all for paying your dues and your debts to society, and there was no evidence or whatever the case was, and however the case turned out is great and all, but to go on in a public show, be it a TV show, a podcast, whatever the case is, and brag about it and laugh and thinking that sexual assault is funny, I have a problem with that. Charlamagne, I'm here for you in so many other ways. Like, I like where you've grown over the years. When you started as an immature asshole on television and being with, you know, starting out, how I became familiar with you was when you were on Wendy Williams, her radio show on BLS in New York, and that whole progression from there to where you are now and how you've matured and how you've become a better person. I congratulate you for maturing, but that whole misogynistic shit that you do, you need to cut that shit out. Because if this could be used against you in court, I'm not going to feel bad for you. So, I wish I could play it for you and bring it up. It's on my Facebook. I posted it. But yeah, it was like an audio where they was playing of the whole situation. And it was just like crazy when I was listening to it. But, also, before I go, because I want to get this out real quick, Comic-Con just ended. I had a lot of favorites that I loved. The movies that I'm really looking forward to. Love the Aquaman trailer. Definitely looking forward to that. I love me some Jason Momoa. Cannot wait to see this movie. This movie looks really exciting, especially when, you know, DC has really been on this rocky road with a lot of the films that they've had lately with the DC cinematic universe. Definitely looking forward to seeing that. Definitely looking forward to seeing Shazam. I wasn't really sure about Shazam until I saw the trailer, but I'm definitely looking forward to seeing this movie. I've always been a fan of Zachary Levi ever since he was on a show on NBC called Chuck, so I'm definitely looking forward to seeing that. I was kind of disappointed with the panel for Halloween, though, because I did check it out. I watched the Halloween panel. It popped up on YouTube, because, you know, Comic-Con in San Diego is beyond fucking expensive. But the Halloween panel, I was disappointed in because Jamie Lee Curtis was going around basically saying the same thing she's been saying in interviews about the movie. Didn't really reveal much about the film. I did hear that they got to see an extended trailer, which I'm hoping will pop up on YouTube soon, where there's like a POV shot of Michael basically going around and going on this murder spree while he comes back to Haddonfield. So I did hear that it's gotten rave reviews about the film, but we haven't learned much about the movie, and it's kind of like I want to learn a lot more about the film. So I was kind of watching the panel, which was really short. It lasted about a good maybe 20 minutes. I was disappointed in the panel, except for the one where the guy got up and talked about his experience of what had happened to him, where some guy was cutting wires and was trying to kill him, and he basically was like, what would Laurie Strode do? And he got into survival mode, and basically this whole telling his story moved me. But other than that, I was kind of disappointed in the panel. I did check out a couple of the trailers for shows I'm looking forward to. Looking forward to seeing Arrow. I haven't watched The Flash in 2 years, but I'm probably going to watch The Flash because of the whole Flash role they're doing where Iris's and The Flash's daughter kind of comes back. So there's a whole bunch of stuff. I'm looking forward to seeing that. I see they got another spinoff of the originals and Vampire Diaries, another whack-ass motherfucking show. I am not watching that shit. Like, I'm so sick of these young Harry Potter wannabes. Oh, we're going to go to a school with witches, vampires, blah, 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 blah. Looks corny as fuck. And this is typical CW with all these kiddie, ooh, I'm in love and a relationship, supernatural bullshit. Like, I don't give a fuck about that. So that show looks like it's about to be canceled. That and the new Charm one. That shit looks like shit too. There's a couple of shows that I'm really looking forward to. There's a lot going on. There was a lot to unpack from Comic-Con. Not really excited about the Godzilla movie though. I did see the trailer. You know, I like Millie Bobby Brown. Love her as 11 on on Stranger Things, but overall, I'm just not that excited for this movie. I'm not excited for Godzilla. I didn't really like the last one, so I'm not really that excited. But overall, really good panels, from what I was watching. Walking Dead and Fear the Walking Dead, I'm probably, even though I have you know, my issues with The Walking Dead and the whole writing and the narrative and just this cyclical bullshit that they continue to do every season, I am going to watch the season because I am curious to see what they're going to do with Andrew Lincoln's Rick Grimes character, because it was revealed and confirmed at Comic-Con, but it was revealed weeks ago that he is leaving the show. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they're going to do with Rick Grimes' character, how they're going to tie that up. And of course, Maggie, because she's off on, Lauren Graham is on another show. Lauren Cohen, not Lauren Graham. Lauren Graham is from Gilmore Girls. Lauren Cohen is leaving the show as well. So I like to see how they tie up her story and where we move forward with this. Denai needs to leave too, because, you know, Michonne, Denai Guerrero's character, like, her as an actress, like, she's up for so many roles now, and Black Panther's really putting her on the map. She doesn't need The Walking Dead anymore. The Walking Dead is on its last legs. And Fear the Walking Dead, I checked out that show since season 1, but I am kind of curious because I see that they've changed up this show so much. They have new people coming in. They pretty much killed off the original cast members from the show. So I'm definitely looking to see that. There's just a lot of shows. I might just do a whole full Comic-Con breakdown. But I feel like I said enough I need to say, excuse me, about my favorites from Comic-Con. Oh, Jesus, I'm feeling gassy. It's eating that damn tuna fish, which was lovely, by the way. Yeah, so I said this to say, you know what? Thank you all for watching. Any more rundowns and stuff throughout the week, definitely keep tuned in. Thank you once again for taking the time to actually watch this episode all the way through. If you like it, comment, do all that you need to do. Follow me on Instagram at Chris Avalon Blog, Twitter at Chris Avalon NYC, Facebook, look me up, Chris Avalon. Add me, tell me if what you think of all the episodes and everything that I'm keep doing. Just like, yeah, also leave the comments, click the bell, subscribe, do all those things, because it definitely is encouraging me to create more content. I don't know why it's taking me so long to do this, even though people have been telling me to do it for the longest. Like, I've been vlogging for a gazillion years. I've been doing my very own celebrity news and gossip blog for 15 years. Now I'm getting more into doing the on-camera stuff. I'm definitely liking it. I feel like I'm getting more comfortable yapping at a screen and people watching and enjoying and giving all the feedbacks and things, good or bad, as long as it's respectable. So, yeah, love you all for watching. Thank you all for watching. And see you guys whenever something new and juicy pops up.